Hello everyone, welcome back to the Driving Project. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tom. And with the prices of these cars plummeting, we're here today to answer the question, is it worth owning one? So Alex, this is your own
This is my baby.
Land Rover.
I've had this for 5 years. I do a lot of towing, so I don't know.
Might be able to hear a bit of noise
yeah,
coming from there.
I absolutely love it. There are a few things that I dislike about it, but hopefully by the end of the video you'll get a good sense of what these cars are about and why I'm such an advocate of them.
So I think the thing that I wanted to touch on really was the price of these cars now. I mean, a decent one in decent nick is what, $5 grand? Something like that. And
it's crazy.
It's mental for what you get in it. They're pretty cool cars, and I think even by today's standards they still look pretty good on the road, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is like the pre-facelifted one.
Yeah.
So it's got like the older style grille and headlights and whatever.
Yeah.
And they had a facelift in 2010 for the 10, 11 and 12 plate one, but you can get those for $5 grand now.
Yeah.
And it's just so much car. I mean, again, this is an older spec, but it's still got heated seats, heated steering wheel, reversing cameras, Bluetooth, sat-nav. The list goes on and on, really. And it's super comfortable. I mean, I don't know if you've got...
Yeah, I mean, everything. All the seats, fully electric.
I was about to say, have you got electric seats?
I can do all the lumbar.
Have you got memory seats down there, though?
Hang on. I'm stuck, Alex.
What else do we like about this car? What do you like about my car?
I think it has, what, probably the most reliable engine that's been put in a Range Rover.
It got to be.
Is it the M57?
M57.
BMW engine?
Yeah, BMW 3 litre straight 6 diesel engine, which is in so many things. All the 5 Series, all the 3 Series. So much BMW product, so much Land Rover product as well. It's just, and granted, this car, probably the only thing that I've not had to fix or have ever had an issue with is the orange. The things that have actually broken on this car, I'm not talking about wear and tear stuff, so I'm not bothered about pads and discs or suspension arms, but the things that have actually broken in my ownership are the in-tank diesel pump. The level sensor or the level gauge fell off, so I was just breaking down. In the space of 2 weeks, I was breaking down every day because I didn't know where the fuel level was at. And the final straw of that was being on the M25 with my girlfriend, and we broke down somewhere by Rickmansworth, and she had to walk the hard shoulder somewhere.
Why didn't you walk it?
Oh, well, I had to look after the car. I mean, the sensible thing would have been to put a full tank of diesel in it, but it's so expensive to fill up. These gearboxes, I can't remember what they're called. I think they're called the ZF gearbox. I bought it and it had already been rebuilt. So I think that's probably quite important to mention, that the gearboxes on these aren't a known weak point, but once they've been rebuilt, they're typically okay. And fortunately for me, I bought this and it had already been rebuilt. So, I mean, I've had 45,000 miles of trouble-free towing on one of these. It's been brilliant, bar the fuel economy. What else do you like about my car? I'm forcing you to compliment my car.
The big thing for me, I guess, that I do really like about this car is that it's so useful for so many different things.
Definitely.
We spoke about this earlier before we put the cameras on. I mean, in terms of what you'd replace this vehicle with, something that's going to be equally as comfortable, something that's going to be equally as capable off-road, something that's going to be, equally, well, I think even in this instance, equally as reliable. For what, £5,000?
Yeah.
If you were to replace this car and you were not allowed to buy another Land Rover, I can't think of something that would fit in all of those categories. And I mean, I guess I guess that's what Land Rover is all about. Yeah, I know they've got a bit of a bad name for reliability, especially sort of the newer ones where they've gone a bit more electronic, but what you can't argue with is that when they're working, they do everything very, very well.
If I was not allowed to buy another Land Rover, I'm not sure what I would go for to replace this. Yeah, I think because the initial price tag was so high, not everyone could have one. And now because the price has come down so much, they've become more affordable for everyone. And I didn't even know if you were to lease one of these, or lease a new model, I don't even know how much it would cost. What, you'd be paying £600 a month?
More than that. For a full-size Range Rover lease, you're going to be paying over £1,000.
Plus your deposit.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could just buy one outright with a year's worth of monthly payments.
With that, things that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
Road tax. Yes. Which we looked earlier was £700 odd for the year.
£730.
It's a bit of a shame because cars that are this age now, with all the new legislation coming in, they are going to die out. You will not be able to buy one because it will be too expensive to run on the road. Another good topic with these cars is safety.
Yeah.
They're quite big.
Very big.
So, in terms of accidents, you're not really going to notice. So, if you do frequently have an accident, you hit school children or old people or cyclists, you're not going to notice at all.
Probably won't even leave a dent or mark the paint.
Well, they'll just go straight under it.
Exactly. And you can just flick the suspension up as well. So that our late Queen had one. I mean, what more can you say?
You can buy a car the Queen drove for £5,000.
It's crazy. I would be hesitant to buy the 3.6 personally.
Yeah, there's been a few issues.
Yeah, and I think once those issues are sorted, and those issues are split intake manifolds and turbos, I believe once they're sorted, they're actually pretty good. But if a turbo pops on one of those, I mean, you are in for it. Absolutely in for it.
They're body off jobs, aren't they?
They're body off jobs, and I mean, I'm thinking I've never seen a bill for less than £2,500.
As much as we're saying this is a good car,
yeah,
I think it is worth mentioning, generally speaking, if anything goes wrong with it, it is going to be costing you at least £1,000.
It's a four-figure party every time something goes bang.
But you just need to be aware that if you are buying one, you can buy one for £5,000, but keep a few £1,000s spare for when something goes wrong. I think
you've just got to be mindful of what you're buying. Paint's flaking off your two doors.
Yes.
And that happened 2 years ago which was the last time the sun actually came out. Do you remember when it was 40 degrees?
No.
You don't remember when it was 40 degrees?
Where were you?
I was in England. We had that heat wave where it was 40-degree weather for like
40 degrees. Are you drunk?
It was out, exposed in the field where I keep it to the sun, and it just singed through the clear coat, and I just haven't been bothered to fix it. I remember also.
Did it burn the rust hole in it as well?
Yeah. Yes.
On the tailgate.
That's actually grown. That started off like that, and it's now about a foot. That's really common. I actually don't know what goes wrong with that.
We've just currently pulled up to the Land Rover's favourite place in the whole world. How much is it to fill this fully?
I think it's about 100 and something litres. So, yeah.
150 quid?
140 odd, 150 odd quid. Yeah. That's what I'm going to put in.
Out of all the 4x4s that you have owned,
yes,
what is the best one? It doesn't have to be this one.
I think I've got an emotional connection with this one. So, as much as I would probably want to say the Black Discovery 4 that I had, which was quite a special car.
That was a nice car.
That was a nice car. Black with white interior, not even cream, it was ivory white. That was probably the nicest to look at, but because I've had this for so long, I am a bit emotionally attached to it.
Got some attachment,
Yeah, so I'm going to say this one because it's just proven itself over and over and over again. To summarise, why wouldn't you buy one of these?
Well, I mean, I think, as we've touched upon, it really does depend on what you're going to, what you need your car to do for you. I mean, I'd say for quite a lot of people, yeah, it's going to be a bit too expensive on fuel, road tax. I think maintenance, yeah, we've touched on that bit. I really think that if we're going to be looking at cars that are this age and this mileage, it doesn't really matter what you're buying. You're going to have to put some money aside for repairs. It's just the nature of owning a car.
Used cars, problems. Yeah. If you're buying it to just drive around in as an everyday car, then you've really got to consider whether or not the maintenance costs and the running costs are worth it.
Well, I think we're both in agreement when it comes to SUVs in general. When you look at if you want a big car and you're, for a family or for whatever reason, buy an estate car. Don't buy an SUV.
Yeah. Because
if it's just driving on the road, an SUV is going to be less fuel efficient. It's going to generally be slower if you're comparing it to the similar model. It's not going to handle as well. It's not going to be as fun to drive. Estates are the way forward, but I don't think many people are interested in the States as much.
No, people love SUVs and crossovers nowadays, don't they? Because
they like to have a commanding view of the road.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think there's a better vehicle for the money of a similar ilk. What are the alternatives?
If you are going to be buying a Range Rover, I certainly think the L322 is the better one to go for, just because it's now represents really good value for money.
So cheap.
And also, you can get the M57 BMW engine in this one, which is in this one. And from what I've seen anyway, I think is the most reliable engine you can buy in a Range Rover product. Guys, thank you very much for watching this week's video. In a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be hopefully taking Alex's GTI out on its maiden voyage.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I bought a GTI as a non-runner and it still doesn't run. So hopefully I can get it fixed by the time that we do our next episode. And I think it would only be right if we took that, as you said, out for its first proper drive. So, yeah.
Looking forward to that. If you do want to check out Alex fixing up the GTI, then please head over to his channel. I'll put a link for it down in the description below. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks.